the establishment of a Palestinian state on the borders of the 4th of June 1967 with East Jerusalem as its capital is about a state whose borders were drawn by the War of 1948 and the War of 1967. It will be a state that is militarily exposed and economically dependent on Israel. Anyone who governs it will be forced to take the place of the occupation, perform its role, or it will collapse. The economy in this state would be dependent, as it was during the days of direct occupation. Businessmen buy from Israeli factories and sell their products in the West Bank, and workers engage in construction beyond the Green Line. And it will also depend on international grants conditional on making peace with Israel. The state will promise its citizens prosperity if they make peace. But that promise will not be fulfilled. Because that state cannot be democratic. Half of its population are refugees, originally from the coast and Galilee. It was established in exchange for giving up their right of return. If they were allowed to conduct fair elections, it would be highly probable that they would bring a government that would cancel the peace agreements on which the state was founded. So it is necessary, then, for it to be an authoritarian state without effective elected institutions. This, in turn, means the absence of oversight on finances, because elected legislative councils were originally created for overseeing government spending. If there is no oversight over money, corruption becomes easy and spreads. What this state gains from its international sponsors' grants becomes concentrated in the hands of a few of its rulers. No refugees among them returned to their lands in Galilee and the coast, nor did they gain political freedom, nor did they receive money and wealth as collective bribes in exchange for giving up all those rights. Corruption leads to an increase in tyranny to protect the plunderers from the anger of the plundered. This state will be another nightmare, like many of its sisters in the Arab world, a people whose wealth is plundered, their voices silenced, who do not choose their rulers, and whose rulers do not protect them, but protect their invaders from them. The two-state solution essentially entrenches apartheid, giving the invaders 80% of the land. And it gives the invaded 20% of the land without independent weapons or money, a solution you see today, and it is still just a promise. It divides the Palestinians and lures some of them with conditions for servitude slightly better than what others receive to enslave everyone. A solution that practically deprives the Palestinian people of the political and military impact of the majority they have gained between the sea and the river, making the overthrow of the apartheid system in the country immeasurably harder. But the dominant invader is often deceived by its power, and its greed leads to its downfall. Despite the fact that the two-state solution is the only guarantee for the survival of the apartheid system in Israel, successive Israeli governments lean more towards the right, extremists, and settlers who aspire to annex the West Bank. It is as if Israel wants the Palestinian National Authority to serve it without even providing the tools to do so. Nominal independence is a condition for practical enslavement, just as practical enslavement, a condition for nominal independence. Since Israel is not satisfied with the two-state solution, desiring to annex the West Bank, and at the same time fears the Palestinian demographic majority between the sea and the river, the solution devised by its leaders today is the same as that devised by their predecessors yesterday. A new catastrophe would gradually or suddenly expel Palestinians from the West Bank. In preparation for that, Israel would confine as many of them as possible to the smallest possible area of land and annex the rest. And this was the essence of the deal of the century, the reason for applying Israeli law to settlements, considering them part of Israel's land, expelling the Jerusalemites, and other such actions. The two-state solution will entrench tyranny, corruption, and dependency in the proposed Palestinian state, and an apartheid system seeking ethnic and religious cleansing in Israel. However, the greed and arrogance of the invaders led them to kill that solution in pursuit of another catastrophe, and to take the land without its inhabitants.